Welcome to Leo for Leos. This is a channel featuring intuitive tarot readings for the astrological sign of Leos, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I'm a Leo as well, so that is why the channel is called Leo for Leos. Cross watchers and fellow readers are welcome. However, I do want to give you the heads up that I read the cards as I see them and not always the way it's traditionally done. So let's get started. I am working with the Smith Waite Tarot deck, the Centennial Edition, and I purchased this on Amazon. This reading is for Leos, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Ooh, already want to talk. This is for the month of March. For the entire month of March, so we can get a nice overview. I'm going to do things a little bit differently this month. I'm going to do a monthly, and then I'm going to try seeing how it works doing a weekly. So look out for those weekly reports, or weekly readings, if you will. March. Wow. So, first card. We're going to do less shuffling than usual, so. Okay, let's see if we can get them all centered on the screen for you, so you can see the cards. Okay, so what am I picking up here for Leos? So there's a lot of wishing happening here, which is great for infusing your manifestations with a lot of dreaming, a lot of hoping, a lot of visualization of that dream that you have. So going into March, there's a lot of hope for the future. A lot of hope for the future. A lot of, maybe some of you have redesigned your vision boards, and you're getting a chance to really dream about what it is you really want. There's a sense of devastation, like I've got to do this on my own. Even though this card looks really terrible, the Ten of Swords, there is a sense of like no one is going to come save you kind of thing. The Nine of Swords is a lot like that, but this one is really reading it like that to me, that a lot of the things in the past have influenced your current feelings about relationships and how you're dealing with people, and that there's a lot of guardedness about, like, or feeling of like, I'm not sure I'm ready to trust a whole bunch of people with my sensitive stuff, my sensitive information, my social security number. And you're right, like, be very, very much on the lookout for that stuff. It's not a dominating party. in your life. It's not a dominating force, but it's definitely it's definitely something for you to consider. It's not actually a bad trait. It's more like something that you've learned over the years. You can't go trusting everyone with all your stuff. So you've got to protect yourself in a way, or at least be guarded a little. Okay? So also this can also be about looking after your own interests, making sure that the decisions that you make are not going to come back and bite you in the butt later. So there's kind of a warning too. I love when I see the warnings in the cards, because we can actually veer around those situations, can't we? If we know about them ahead of time. So for March, you know, there's a lot of hoping, a lot of dreaming, but there's also a lot of predators out there. So watch your stuff, watch your money, watch your information, watch what you say, and definitely, I know it sounds like, oh no, I gotta watch what I say too. Yes, watch what, because words are very powerful in March. They are quite powerful, and people read into stuff that they shouldn't, especially in the beginning of March, the last part of February going into March, because of the retrograde. There's going to be a lot of miscommunication, and people taking things that you say out of context or to their own narrative, and it's really great to be a little cautious at that time. There's also the dreaming, so that dreaming can still continue. You can always, there's always a time and a place to dream of new wonderful things. The limitations that you might find in the real world of things that you can say and do is not always going to be the case, but at this very time, the messages coming in is saying, watch your stuff, watch your back, watch who you tell things to, watch your security, watch your numbers, and I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into this this here. Okay. So yeah, this security, this is talking a little bit about the past, and a little bit about the current situation, about making sure that whatever you're doing, that you're doing it to protect yourself. You're on the defense. Remember to be on the defense. This is not a character flaw at all. This is actually something that this is actually a message coming in for you, that it's okay. Okay, let's see. We have something else here. Okay. The Emperor, the discipline is so necessary to get to be on top of the situation. If you notice the first, so January, let's rewind a little, okay? In December there was a lot of planning. In January there was a lot of planning, but there was sort of it was kind of a rocky start. February is more like executing and facing the challenges of actually going down the path that you need to go down. I think the whole time you've been working really hard, been striving, but for some reason in March you get this incredible discipline going. And I think we talked a little bit about discipline in the if I'm not certain, in the main reading for the year. So there's a lot of discipline that you're applying. You're getting up earlier. You're going to bed when you're supposed to. You're decluttering. This is a perfect time for decluttering, the beginning of March, because of the retrograde. And I usually don't bring astrological stuff into my readings, but I feel like in this particular case, the retrogrades are so powerful and they cause so much trouble and misunderstandings. This is like, yeah, I need to talk about it. I need to talk about the astrological aspects here, because this is about Leos after all. And there's a shift, a personal shift into this more disciplined and rigid kind of personality and a character trait. And people might not like it, but this is something that you have to do for yourself, because ultimately you want to grow. You want to give birth to new ideas, new wonderful things. This is part of the dream that you want to create. And discipline is the answer. Discipline is the answer. It may be even, I've got this strong sense that a lot of people during the last part of February and the beginning part of March will be doing a lot of cleaning, a lot of reviewing, like spring cleaning, a little bit early, but definitely like getting stuff that is in their way and throwing it away. It may even be cleaning up their friendships, like, hey, moving forward, I really need this kind of support from you. If not, I think I'm going to have to bounce. Like things like that. It may be just even cleaning up like certain aspects of relationships. It may be actually cleaning up, and that's where a lot of communication can get screwed up too. But it may be like realizing it and not really acting on it until like the last part of March. That would probably be the smartest. At least getting to the place where you're like curtailing some of the frayed ends, so to speak, in your life. Like getting a nice clean pair of scissors and just shearing the frayed edges of your life. Like the things that aren't working, the things that aren't helping you to get to your goals and aren't assisting you with like daily enjoyment and daily life, daily like get you through your work week, So like if something is in the way or it's becoming more of a burden, it may be time to clear it out of your life, or at least decide that you're working on a way to clear it out of your life. Now let's go to the Judgment card. And Judgment really is always about a renewed spirit. Let's see, what aspect is this new spirit? Okay. Okay, so there's a new like desire to learn something new, but it's more like you want to learn something new in order to get an advantage, right? It may be diving deeper into a specific skill set that you have, or even learning a new software that's going to make things go faster for you. It may be about like going to a conference or going to an event where you might be meeting people and they can teach you things, or you can learn about new methods of success. There's also maybe some online courses that you might be taking, a book that you might pick up to kind of help you out, to give you some guidance of like, hey, this is the way to organize your life, or this is the way to achieve better personal development. There's always learning to be done, and there's going to be some incredible learning happening. That jumped out of my hand almost. It like practically jumped out of my hand. This leads you to some decisions that you really need to make that are literally on fire, like hot, white hot ideas and decisions that you need to make about your life. It could be about people, it could be about business, but whatever the context of it, it's like it's a game changer possibly. And you're always getting great ideas. You're always getting great ideas. So we're not surprised that to see this card. I mean, let's look at this journey here. And you know what it feels like? It feels like from doing something kind of boring and monotonous, something is birthed, like an idea is being birthed. And you do a little research into it, and then you make a decision to act. That is what I'm seeing here. And that is going to lead to feeling really good. Like you're going to have a fantastic jolt of energy and elation about it. Like, yes, I finally found the answer. This is my chance to really change the game here and make a big difference in my life, turn things around. People will know who I am. You know, I'm going to make a great name for myself. There's a very big sense. But with this incredible is a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of responsibility that you want to take on. But it doesn't look like responsibility to you. It looks like happiness, family, togetherness, love, affection, validation, approval. That's what that looks like to you. So the reflection at this time is really high. There's a lot of going back, looking at the past and seeing how you are going to avoid doing the same mistakes. I've been pretty much saying the same consistent thing for the last 6 months about looking back and trying to avoid the things that you've done in the past. Unfortunately, there's a lot of things that are intrinsic to our natures that is like, we have to do that thing that we've always done. But look, there's an opportunity to do something different as well. So let's see what the message is. What's the message here? Make a commitment. Okay, guiding and controlling emotions in the middle of when things happen. Stand up and defend yourself. prosperity and generosity. So let's talk about these. All right, I'm going to go back a little. So regardless of your past, there is a sense that maybe in the past you have been generous and it hasn't been always a good, it hasn't always given you back the amount you've given. And maybe that's the problem, is the thinking about how that, this is for some of you, not all of you, thinking about how you've given and how you've not received. The point of giving is not to receive. That's the first problem. The point of giving is to give from your heart and not from your head, from your heart. Really help people in a way that helps them get on their feet, not because you want to look like the bigger person. Okay? But in the case here, reflecting back on the past, what was wrong was where the intentions were coming from. Well, with this commitment to really make a change in your life, to really be different, the commitment to change, to have a different outcome, is definitely working. Okay, sorry, I had an interruption there. So there's a commitment happening here. This commitment to your dream and changing the outcome is definitely influencing how you're going to be generous in the future. This generosity really comes from a place of wanting to help and defend people. To defend people who are less fortunate. And your emotions are tied up into it. So this time it's coming from a heart. It's coming from your heart this time. It's really kind of interesting because when you're leading with your heart, sometimes it can lead you to something more, a more passionate stance on something that maybe no one has ever heard from you before. But the thing is that maybe people need to hear where you stand on things. And I've got this card that just popped out of my hand, stepping into something new. The whole act, this whole act of, and it feels like the last part of March, you might be defending somebody. You may be standing up for somebody. You may be saying, hey, that's not right. And you may be stepping into a new kind of, you may be looking differently to people. They may be seeing you in a new light. Okay, so let's move on to the Page of Wands, okay? So the Page of Wands is really about announcing something. It could be a post or something, or a tweet, or it may or may not be big. Let's find out how big it is. Let's see what this is all about. right. It looks like something actually happens that creates this. Like it's time for you to announce something. And it looks like it has to do with work. Your craft, your expertise. Maybe you're announcing a class that you're teaching. Maybe it's offering to help someone or a group of people, counsel. I'm looking at the way these people are talking amongst each other, collaborating almost. This comes from a place where you have assessed what is going on and you come to a determination. And you see an opportunity. You see an opportunity, and it comes from a very romantic, passionate place in your heart. Yeah, a lot of this feels like it's from the heart. Okay. So, well, that's going to wrap it up. We're going to do one answer from the Angel Answers deck oracle cards. And I want you to concentrate on a question that you have for March. And we will attempt to answer that question. And it could be about what we've been talking about, or just think of your question. See if there's an answer for it. Opportunity. Just literally said the words opportunity a few moments ago. Yeah, there's March is opening up an incredible amount of opportunity your way. And the opportunity is coming from a place that is entrenched in your background. Like you have a background in this opportunity. You have the craftsmanship. You have the craftsmanship to actually make this work for you. It's very exciting, this opportunity that you have. And I really feel as if this is just really going to be a very bountiful time period for you. That if you know anything, I would say this is not the entire month of March, but it's building up to it. So I would say after the middle of March, this opportunity is going to open up like a flower. And I'm also sensing that spring might come early this year for a lot of people. Or fall, depending on where you are on the hemisphere. And that is going to make a lot of people very hopeful. Very, very hopeful. And full of life and vigor and energy. And just really go out there and seize the moment on this. This card is just, I wonder if you can get a really good look at it. But it is a beautiful card. And, oh, there's a better look at it. This is a beautiful card. And this is how March is pretty much going to be opening up for Leos. Well, thank you so very much for watching, supporting, and subscribing. If you haven't, please consider doing so for Leo monthly readings. And be sure to hit the bell icon to be the first to know when my next video gets posted. Many blessings to you, my awesome Leos. And remember, this channel is for you and for you alone.